Welcome to A Double
and
Dice
with your hosts Kim
and Jocelyn.
Pour your favorite beverage.
Pull up a comfy chair.
Because we are ready to roll.
Welcome to episode 2 of A Double and Dice. And today we are talking about tournaments. That is online tournaments, which you actually could play in this game. All you need is a laptop, a camera, a headset, and a playmat, pretty much, and you're good to go.
You're getting all fancy there, Kim.
I know.
You don't need a laptop. You don't even need a camera. Some of the guys we play with have like a tablet and a cell phone.
Yes, I've seen people play with cell phones as their camera.
Yeah, so you mount your cell phone over your mat, and you've got a tablet so you can see your opponent's team on your screen, and you're good to go. You don't need a headset as long as you've got something with a microphone.
They can hear you.
Yeah. So it doesn't take a lot to get involved in playing online. And what's great about playing online with this game is because you're using your physical cards and your physical dice, you still get to roll all the dice.
In the world.
All of them. Shake them up. Roll them down. Orbital Strike forever.
Oh, Orbital Strike, my favorite card. Please look it up. It's one of my best. Yes, okay, so as Jocelyn put it, you don't need that much. But
in fact, if you want to see some of these setups for what an online play might look like, you can head over to dm-north.com, and there is a section there under gameplay and community that has pictures of various people's online setups. So you can see what little things you can do to get yourself organized, or even, I think there's a little video that our friend Reg put up that shows you how to make like a camera stand and get yourself set up for pennies to do this just by going to the local hardware store.
Yeah, it's doesn't cost that much. So it's pretty easy. Don't feel intimidated by it. I know when I was very intimidated about playing online. When did I start playing? A couple of years ago. I was hesitant to go play online. I wouldn't say I wasn't a very good player. Just still learning the game and really getting to know the cards and the abilities and what things do. If you know me, I do not like to die by turn 3 or 4 or 5. So that was a big thing that drew me back from playing online tournaments. Is I didn't want to go play into a game and then I'm done playing in like 10 minutes and then you're like, all right, move on, kind of thing. So that was a big thing for me. But then honestly, I don't know what it was. I don't know what made me go into a tournament. I said, let me just try it out and give it a go. I know the community is pretty good, and that's where I pretty much started.
Was it like a tournament, like a multi-week tournament the first time you played online, or was it something like the Weekly Dice Arena?
I can't remember, to be honest. I have a very bad memory. There you go.
Fortunately, we're making a podcast, so it will be preserved for all posterity.
I have a very bad memory. I think I started playing in WDA, which is a Weekly Dice Arena, which happens every Tuesday by our friend Ross. So on Twitch. So if you ever want to play online, join us there. I think I started playing in WDA last year. I want to say
2018.
No, it was 2019. I think I started early 2019. So I didn't start.
Really? I played in WDA before you did.
Maybe it's been over a year now with the Weekly Dice Arena.
Yeah.
Again, I saw it. I didn't really pay attention much to it. I wasn't into the online thing then. I think it's when I got into the first tournament in 2018. Then I'm like, oh, this is actually not bad. And then I went into the Weekly Dice Arena.
Oh, okay.
So
see, my first online game with anyone aside from Rob, where we used to just play each other through Hangouts, was in the WDA.
Oh, okay.
But I feel like that was in 2018, but maybe it was 2019.
Maybe you started and then
I don't know.
Maybe you've mentioned it to me and started to get into it.
But I was also very hesitant to play online, and why, I really don't know. Now that I've done it so much, I don't really know why that was the case. But I like lurked in the shadows of the Twitch, just posting stuff and watching people play for quite some time before I jumped in and started to play. Actually, it might have been last year. Now that I think about it, it might have been 2019 that I played for the first time there. But anyway, regardless.
And now you're like addicted to it.
Well, I mean, you play in the WDA more than I do, but part of that is just because of my job. I have to get up early, so to stay up till 11 or 12 to play Dice Masters on a Tuesday night, it's kind of a challenge for me because I'm an early to bed type person, an early to rise type person. So if I'm staying up late, it's a bit of a struggle. But I do play sometimes, and in the weekly Dice Arena. But what I've been playing more of lately, and I think you have as well, Kim, is the Chris and Rob Game Room Two Team Takedown Tournament, which we're both about to enter the round 4 of the current season, which is the Invitational.
Yep.
Which is very exciting.
Yeah, so Invitational, what does that mean? Chris and Rob's Game Room is on YouTube, so you can always catch them there. Are they actually called CR Game Room on YouTube? I can't remember.
CR Game Room or CRGR, I'm not sure.
But you can catch them there. They do a weekly podcast type on YouTube, and they also have some gameplay, I think, as well.
Yeah, it's a video stream.
Yeah, they've been doing tournaments for a while. And yeah, we started playing in that. They do different seasons, 2 team, meaning you bring 2 teams, and you have to win with both.
And neither team can have the same cards on them. So you can't have the same card on both teams. You can have a different version of the card, but you can't have the exact same card on each team. So 2 completely unique teams.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, there was a few seasons of that. I started in the springtime last year, and you too as well. So I just moved before that. Bring in a variety of teams, and the Invitational works a little differently. You have to be the top 4, I believe, top 4 in each season to make the Invitational. Correct?
That's right.
So there'll be 16 players altogether. And I'll let Jocelyn tell you how she became in the Invitational. But for me, it was... I did not come in top 4 for any of them. I believe it was 4 seasons, right? And
3 seasons.
3 seasons.
4 seasons. Yeah, 4 seasons.
Would they count in the spring one? I could.
Yeah, remember. Spring and then the late.
Then 3 seasons. Yeah. Okay, so it's 4 altogether. I think they called it spring, season 1, season 2, season 3. I bring teams that are fun. They're not really meta teams out there that's looking to win. And as Justin pointed out, Orbital Strike's one of my favorite cards. I played that. It's a pretty love-hate relationship card for me, but it wins you, it lose some. But I was always maybe
tell us what Orbital Strike does, Kim.
All right. Orbital Strike is when you roll it.
It's a basic action.
It's a basic action. It's a 4-cost basic action. You roll all your characters in your field zone. Anything that rolls back on a character face, you count up or you add up all the attack value of all the characters, and you deal that much damage to your opponent. Now, if you can get 20 in one shot, based on how much cards, that's it, game done. Sometimes your characters don't even roll back and you end up doing 0 damage. So that's where the love-hate relationship comes in to play. When it works, it's fantastic. When it doesn't, it's like you hope you hold on to another turn. Because you do leave your field blank if you don't roll back characters. But I always have my Wolverine regenerate up my sleeve that hopefully he comes back to the field. But that's Orbital Strike. So I love that card. It's my favorite. And I've played it in a few tournaments.
And that's from the Warhammer 40k set, right?
Yes, that's correct. That's from that one. So I'm always tweaking that team to make it work a little better. But it's very 50-50. It's a risk you take, but it's a fun risk. So you were playing that team, and you didn't make top 4, you said? No, I didn't make top 4. I was always mid to lower in the bracket, I guess. Usually we get 18, 19 players out there. But I think it was season 2 or 3. I ended up in 8th place. I think I had a team up team at that point. It was a very strong team. And because of the previous winners of top 4, they also were top 4 in that season. So they went down the line, and ended up going to 8th place, which was me. And so when I saw that I made an invitational, I was quite shocked and happy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, which actually teams are due today and starts Monday, the February 24th. So so that's how I made it, the invitational. Jocelyn?
Well, my first tournament that I played with the Chris and Rob Game Room was the spring invitational or spring tournament last year, and I lost every single one of my matches. So if I was playing for a MOD PDM for our Ministry of Dice folks over in the UK, I would have won the wooden spoon. But unfortunately, CR Game Room don't have a wooden spoon, so I just got the prestige of losing all of my games. However, I did all right in Legacy 1 when we launched that one in the fall, and then in Legacy 2, I decided to play the nasty teams because they had talked all along. So the first, in the fall tournament season, Legacy 1, 2, and 3 were elimination tournaments, which means that the cards on the winning team are banned for the next round. So that meant that every round, 20 cards would be banned, 16 characters or actions and 4 basic actions. So I took 2 pretty nasty teams in, mostly because I didn't want anyone to be able to play them later, not because they're necessarily teams I like to play, although there were some cute little shenanigans that I liked on those teams. So I played a team with the rare collector from Guardians of the Galaxy, and I had a super rare Norman Osborn that when he's fielded does damage based on the number of villains in the field. But I also had a card from Warhammer that I really like. It's called Noxious Blightbringer, Tosin of Misery, and it does damage to your opponent based on how much energy they have left in their reserve pool. So if they've saved energies to do globals, then you can do that, and your opponent has to pass you priority every turn, and you can use the collector's ability once per turn anytime you could use a global, which means that I can do it before my opponent spends their energy potentially. So that was a really cool little team and a little nice tweak to that collector team that I was playing. And then my other team was an Iceman right on schedule team with Magic Missile to ping Iceman, and every time you hit Iceman with a bolt from Magic Missile, he does 2 damage to your opponent during the attack step. And in that tournament, I did lose a couple of games, but overall I won all of my matches. So I was number 1 seed in that tournament, Legacy 2. And that's how I got into the Invitational.
Yep, kick butt.
I did kick butt. My dice were on fire. Like, they were literally on fire. There was one game that I played in that tournament, and I think it's recorded, but I'm not 100% certain. It was against Bodhi, and he was playing a Warriors 3 team, and his dice were as hot as my dice, and it literally came down to me trying to decide which of his dice I was going to capture, and I captured the right one. And I was really lucky. That game could have gone either way. So he was undefeated when I played him as well. So if he had won, that he would have won that tournament. So I feel very blessed and lucky to have gone that way. In Legacy 3, the tournament we just ended, I did not do as well. I started strong and then ended poorly. But now we're going into the Invitational. We've got some of the top players from all over the worlds. There's UK and European players in this tournament, and really looking forward to playing some of these games. What I like about this tournament is they give you a week or so to play your matches. So they announce your matches on a Monday, and you reach out to your opponent and set up a time to play with them based on both of your schedules. So it's not like everyone has to play on Saturday or everyone has to play on Thursday night. You figure it out based on your schedule, which is really great because of the time zones. So a couple of times in the last tournament, I was paired up with people in Europe or the UK. So, sometimes that's a challenge because you're talking 6 or 7 hours time difference. They're 6 or 7 hours ahead of us here. But you can always find time. It always seems to work out.
It works out. And this one's a little different to the Invitational. They're doing double elimination.
I don't know what that means. I am so bad because I am not a sports person. And they talk about all these things like double elimination and top seed and tiebreaker colas, whatever that word is that comes from chess. I don't know what any of that stuff is. I just wait till someone tells me what's happening.
So let's educate you right now.
Do it.
All right, so double elimination, and let's see if I get this right. So it's a different kind of bracket. It's like a bracket. You have a left side, right side. So like a winning side, a losing side. Okay. So you're paired up. If you win, you move on to the winning side of the bracket. If you lose, you go on to the losing side of the bracket. Okay. In our past tournaments, what we did was you play, 5 rounds?
Depending on how many people were in.
Right. It just spit you out first, second, third, fourth, blah, 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 down, right?
Yeah, based on Swiss rounds.
So this was a little different. So it's you won't be playing as much games unless you're winning your games. So if you win your first game, you move to the winner's side. If you lose your first game, you move to the loser's side. You're not out yet. If you're on the losing side of the bracket and you lose, so pretty much you have to lose twice and you're out.
Okay, good. So I won't be playing this tournament very long then.
I think everybody's been saying that. Their team's not very good. So you're on the losing side. You lost once. You lose again. You're out. You win. You keep going on the losing side until you pretty much lose twice. Okay. Winning side, same thing. You keep. If you win, you keep going. If you lose on the winning side, you're not out. You move on to the losing side of the bracket. Okay, then you play on that side of the bracket until you lose twice.
So the winners in the losing bracket stay in the losing bracket, and the losers from the winning bracket also go into the losers bracket?
Yes.
Wouldn't that make the losers bracket really big?
Yes, it'll get big. Because that makes them only lost once. Remember, you have to lose twice in this tournament to be out. So they only lost once when they were on the winning side. So now they've moved to the other side.
This sounds extraordinarily complicated.
Anyways, if you keep winning, you're going to make it all the way to the winning side end.
I'm really good at math and like formulas, but this makes no sense to me. So I'm just going to wait till someone tells me what happens.
Yeah, but if you lose, you're on the losing side. But if you keep winning on the losing side and you haven't lost your second match, you're going to win the losing side of the bracket. And then at the end, what happens is the winning side plays the losing side at the end. The last person standing on both sides of the bracket play each other. So at that point, if you're in the winning bracket, you will have won all of your games.
Correct. If you're in the losing bracket, you would have only lost one.
Yes, and if they're doing it the way I know how double eliminations work, if you're on the winning side and never lost, but you lose to the person on the losing side, you only have lost once. So you need to play them again until you lose twice, I think. Yeah. I think it's just how it works. It's you have to lose twice. So if I won all my games and I lost to the person, I only lost once. I haven't lost twice. So I have to play them again. And then if I lose, I'm done. They win. If I win, they're done because they've lost twice.
Okay.
So if I'm wrong, anybody could correct me out there. But I've played double eliminations a long time ago, and that's how we played it. So I don't know how Dice Master can play. It's my first time in a double elimination. So
I think that it sounds like you have exactly what you need to do there. So I trust you, Kim.
That's why a lot of people in the Discord are saying, hopefully I last long, right? Because you can play 2 games top and be done in the tournament.
Okay, well if that's what happens, that's what happens. So.
Yep.
So have you got your team set up, Kim, since they're due today?
Yes, today meaning February 21st.
Yes. The day of our recording.
Yes. I have done, so I'll talk about them a little bit because it won't really have spoiler alert once this comes out. I went totally off meta.
No, Kim, you didn't play a meta team? What are you talking about?
I don't
always play meta teams.
What? No. Meta meaning, the cards that are dominant cards out there. That most people bring. They come up with combos with it. Pretty much, would you say dominate, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Teams. So I kind of went away from that. No orbital strike this time. I decided to go with my first team A, let's call it. One of the teams that I find is a really underdog card in the game. It's a rare card from the Batman set. His name is Orion. And what he does is when you field him, he deals 2 damage to your opponent, and when you attack with him, he does 2 damage. So you're doing possibly 4 damage on your turn when you field him and attack with him.
I knew I should have put Rare Bishop on one of my teams.
So he's my main card from my one team. I paired him up with Absorbing Man. So Absorbing Man, I think it's the rare one, is when he's active, when you field a character, you can use a copy of his ability. So now I'm going to have him out in the field Orion, not dealing you 2, but I'm going to copy to deal you 4. So anything that when fielded, I can use a copy of it, my side or my opponent's side, so I have to watch for that. And try to deal you 4 damage, and then I attack, dealing you 2, so technically I'm trying to do you 6 damage in one turn. Ouch. So that's my main combo. I also stuck in another card in there that Tiger Claw from Turtles. Nobody ever plays with Turtles. So Tiger Claw is almost similar as Orion, except it's not when fielded you do damage. You actually, when it attacks, it does damage. So when Tiger Claw attacks, deals 2 damage. Technically, if I have 2 of them, I could be doing 8 damage in one turn.
That's gross, Kim.
Right. Yes, I know, and they're pretty high attack value and defense value, so I'm hoping they wouldn't get KO'd too much. I mean, if they roll on their high side, people are not going to be taking 8 damage.
Excuse me while I edit one of my teams to add a Rare Bishop. Rare Bishop, in case you don't know, Bishop Butterfly Effect, protects against non-combat damage and reduces it to 0.
Yeah, so that's what my biggest fear is. I'm going to have Bishop on the other side. Now, the good thing with these double tournaments, 2-team tournaments, is you roll to see who picks their team. You roll, who wins. The loser person has to pick their team and usually counter to that. So I'm hoping I wouldn't really come up with a Bishop team against that team because it is a non-combat team. I did put Mimic on there that rolls out characters, so if that comes to the case, I'm hoping to roll Bishop out.
That's Mimic, Flying, Blasting, Slashing.
Correct. So pretty much you roll both dice. If they both roll character dice, yours gets KO'd. Mimic becomes a copy of that one, so I can gain a Bishop out of that. And then field my characters and hopefully do the damage. So I have to do that first, so if that comes to case.
I think you're going to be in this tournament longer than I am.
Yeah. I pre-tested that team in the weekly dice arena, and it dominated. I won all my games. So, but as we all know about this game, is if you dice rolls, you're in good shape. If your dice don't roll, you got to play catch up. So, so that's team number 1. Team number 2. An oldie but a goodie, I'm gonna say. Unblockable Robin, which is the promo card Unblockable Robin. And he's unblockable when Batman is active. So get Batman out there in the field, low cost Batman, 4 cost, doesn't matter what Batman I'm really using, and field with Robin. Once Batman's active, Robin's unblockable. Now, I have pumps to pump him up, make him bigger. On his biggest side, he's a 5. Try to pump him up, try to get at least 10 damage out there on a turn. My only fear with this one on the opponent's side is
Kate Bishop Hawkingbird.
Got it. I think people are going to have a lot of that on their team. So that is a global on that card that will...
I have it right here. Would you like me to read it for our listeners?
Yes, go for it.
Kate Bishop Hawkingbird. Hang on, where'd she go? I literally had her right in front of me. Okay, seriously? She's on one of my teams. Where is she? There she is. Kate Bishop Hawkingbird. Global. Pay a mask. target attacking character die is no longer attacking. It remains in the field zone. So essentially, it is a pushback global and takes a character that is attacking out of the attack zone, so they are no longer going to do damage to you.
Yeah. So that's what's going to hurt me on my team. On this team, unfortunately, though, which makes it my weaker team, I don't really have a counter to that.
There isn't really a counter. Like, I mean, there's a couple of counters you could have put in place. You could have put in Wrecker. Wrecker from the Mighty Thor set prevents globals unless the character is active. However, your opponent could also counter that with using Kate Bishop, because Kate Bishop is a character. You could just field her. Right? So, and then Polaris prevents you from using multiple globals. Polaris from the X-Men Forever set. I can't remember if she's in the campaign box or one of the team packs, but she says you can only use one global per turn. So that would potentially be.
Yeah, so that team's in trouble. So if I see that I come against that team, then I would have to do. Hopefully they're not rolling. Is it a mask?
It's a mask. Yeah.
It's a mask. So hopefully they don't roll mask. Maybe I have multiple Robins going out there, and they only have one mask to push one back. So it's going to be a bit of a. If that happens to be a little bit of a working my brain a bit to try to figure that one out. If I come up against a Bishop team against that, I'm okay.
I have a question about your Orion team.
Mm-hmm.
What's your ramp there, Kim? Because Orion is a 6 cost.
Oh, my secret weapon? Yellow Lantern Ring.
Yellow Lantern Ring?
So I have big entrance on that team.
Mm-hmm.
So I buy a big entrance first, put it in my bag, roll it out. Hopefully I roll it. If I roll it, I buy Yellow Lantern Ring for 3 instead of 4. Yellow Lantern Rings allows me to buy a character for less than 4. So technically I roll 3 sidekicks, buy Orion for 3.
Okay. Interesting.
Mm.
I like it.
It's worked. It works if
it rolls.
Yes. If I run into trouble, I don't pull big entrance second time because I put it in my bag. Then I have to buy Absorbing Man.
Yeah.
Get him out first. That's my big goal, is get him out first and buy these big guys. But it all depends on what I pull and what I'm rolling.
Yeah, because your Tiger Claw's an expensive card too, right?
6 cost. Orion's a 7 and Tiger Claw's 6. So again, 4 less is 2.
Yeah.
So I still can have some sidekicks there. The only problem is I try not to muck it up with too much characters to begin with, because if I pull characters, then I'm in trouble. So, but I'm pretty confident about that team. Robin's a fun team to play. I've always enjoyed playing it. It's not my very good team because I really don't have a control piece on there to get rid of like Kate. So,
yeah.
So yeah, those are my 2 teams. Fun teams for me, non-meta. I just wanted to have a fun time with it. So
cool. Well, I'm playing 2 teams, and I'm actually playing a team that I played in the last round of the tournament. I really like it, and it did very well. It's my Orc Knob team. So Orc Knob Big Choppa is a 2-cost mask from the Warhammer set. And he says when a character dies KO'd, Orc Knob gets +1A and +2D until end of turn. And Kim will recall that this is a team I've been playing with since last spring. I took it to our one big weekend event in the store last April. Did not do so well with it there. Poor rolls and a few other issues came up with that, and it wasn't quite as wasn't the best build at that point, because one of the things that I struggle with this Orc Knob is his fielding cost. He's a 2 fielding cost on his level 3 side. But since then I've taken this team and I've sort of tweaked it, and I've added on Kree Soldier Stagnant Evolution, which says while Kree Soldier is active, your character dice with a purchase cost of 3 or less are free to field. So all of a sudden my Orc Knobs are free to field, which gives me a lot more energy. And I'm running this with Seething Corruption, which is a basic action that is also from the Warhammer set that says until end of turn when an opposing character die takes damage, KO it. So the idea here is that I get a couple of Orc Knobs in the field. I get a Grey Hunter, who is also from one of the Warhammer sets. I think he's from the Space Wolves team pack. When Grey Hunter is KO'd, deal 1 damage to all opposing character dice. So I get a couple of Orc Knobs in the field, I got a Grey Hunter in the field. I KO the Grey Hunter using one of my many KO methods, which, while the Seething Corruption is in play, all of my opponent's dice get KO'd, my Orc Knobs become big, and then I swing through for a whole bunch of damage. Again, this team has the risk like your team does with, like your team does, Kim, with the Kate Bishop Global.
Kate Bishop, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so someone could potentially push my Orc Knobs back. But, you know, I mean, it's a team that's fun to play. I do have a control piece on here. I have Dupe on here, Lights, Camera, Action from X-Men First Class, where when he's KO'd, I can capture an opposing character die. That doesn't help me at all with Kate Bishop Global. I don't know why I just said that, but it's control.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't help me at all against globals, so, you know, we'll see. But it's a fun team to play. I really like playing it. My other team that I went with is another team that I like to play, and this is a team that I've been playing with on and off since the X-Men Forever stuff came out last year, because it's an infiltrate team. So one of my
someone went with the infiltrate.
My first super rare that I got from Guardians of the Galaxy was Angela, Hunter of Demons, and when she's active, your character dice with infiltrate cannot be blocked, and that's key because the whole point of the infiltrate keyword is that if your characters aren't blocked, you can pull them back and deal a damage to your opponent. So I have Angela for that, and then I put on Kree Soldier, who is protecting the Seat of Hala, which has Swarm but also has Infiltrate, so it's a 2-cost Infiltrator. And then I have everyone's favorite Hope Summers that copies any X-Men die for 3-cost Shield, that I've paired with Cable Body Slide, and those cards both come from the X-Men set. So Cable says, when Cable uses Infiltrate, deal 1 extra damage for each other non-sidekick character die that attack this turn. So if I get a couple of Hope Summers copying Cable into the field, because she's a 3-cost versus Cable's 5-cost, I can do a lot of damage with Infiltrate. So that's the main win con on this team. My secondary win con on this team, just for fun, is I went with Morph Shockwave. So Morph Change of Heart is when fielded, you choose a basic action card. When Morph attacks, use the double burst action of its effect. And Shockwave KOs all level 1 character dice, and then you deal 3 damage to target opponent. So the idea with that is that I attack with Morph, trigger the Shockwave, KO your peeps, and then deal damage to you because I attacked. So I put a couple of other things on here just for fun. Because I'm using Shockwave, that would trigger a tune if I had an attune character, so I have an unblockable common 1T on here. And I'm going to use an action die, and I have Boom Boom Time Bomb, which is the common from XFC. When she's active, you use a basic action die, it deals 2 damage to target opponent or character. So I have some potential removal in Attune with 1T and Boom Boom, because you can do that to both a character or an opponent. And then Bishop is also my big concern here, especially if I'm running the Infiltrate side of this team. So I put on Excessive Force, which is a basic action from the Warhammer set again, deals 6 damage to target character die. So if I see a Bishop across the table, Bishop's biggest defense is 6, so I buy an Excessive Force, and when it comes around, I KO Bishop. So
nice. At least you have second win cons on your team. I do not.
Only on the one team. My Orc Knob team is completely maximized for Orc Knobs, and nothing else happens. Unless I decided to, try and fabricate to buy Supreme Intelligence with the Kree Soldiers. But I really don't think it would help me. It would give me some life. But it's probably not worth anything.
And we both have that sounds like a combat and a non-combat team.
Yeah.
So the question is, are we going to see a lot of bishops out there? Are we going to see a lot of wreckers out there? We both struggle with the Kate is our only risk.
Yeah. I actually put Kate, so the uncommon Kate Bishop is on my Morph team because the primary win con is Angela, so I'm not worried about someone pushing it back because the global on Kate Bishop cannot interact with Infiltrate. Infiltrate happens before the global window. So I don't have to worry about that. And if I have Morph attacking, then it's fine because I want him to be back next turn so that I can
Do it
attack
again.
him again.
Yeah.
So the idea is I can pull him back with that. It's only if I decided to try and put unblockable wanties through that the global would hurt me, but that's sort of like a tertiary win con at that point. So I don't intend to buy her. I just put her on because I had a spot. So although maybe I should reconsider that.
You have 2 hours.
And put Bishop on there because Hope could always copy Bishop. No, that's okay. I've decided. I'm done. They're in. It's settled. I am not coming with Bishop.
I know if you keep thinking, overthinking, it's just going to confuse you more. So
Yeah.
And it sounds like a lot of people are bringing very unique, different teams too, just based on the chat.
I guess we'll see when they come out. But a lot of the big win cons are gone, and a lot of the big what's the word I'm looking for? Support pieces that make the teams very successful are gone, and a lot of the control pieces are gone. You know, some of us that were playing earlier in the tournament, like when I played my Iceman and my collector teams, I made a concerted effort to get a lot of things banned, particularly control cards. So there was a lot fewer control cards when Legacy 3 came around, because when there's too many defensive cards, it can be a challenge because you get into this defensive game instead of an offensive game, and you're all setting up your protection, and then the games take longer. And when you have to win with 2 teams in 90 minutes, you do want the games to go fairly quickly. So we'll see. But I like my teams. They're fun to play. I have practiced them against a couple of different team types. They are vulnerable to various things, particularly Bishop and the Kate Bishop Global. But you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm surprised actually Bishop didn't make it to the ban list, but
if Nick W. Jackalope Spam had won the last round, then Bishop would have been banned. But because our fellow DM Norther, founder of our website, Jordo, beat Nick in the last round of the tournament, Jordo won instead of Jordo won instead of Nick. And then, therefore, Bishop got to stick around.
It'll be interesting, very interesting and fun. I didn't test my Robin team, so I'm testing it.
But you've played that lots before.
Yeah, but I'm going to actually play it in our Team of the Month. Speaking of Team of the Month, that's another area that you could play online. Team of the Month happens once a month from DM North, presented by DM North, and they're playing this Saturday. So
this Saturday at the time of recording. So by the time we play this for you and you hear it in the wild, it will have happened like a month ago.
Yep, but you can join it in March.
That's right.
So,
every month there's a different format.
Yeah, 9 o'clock Eastern as well. Again, you can check it out on dmnorth.com website for details.
DM-North.
North. Yes, we have to remember that dash.
Yeah, we're all about the what's the word I'm looking for?
The dash?
No, not the dash. What are symbols called? There's a word for them.
Yes, there is a word for it. It's not coming to me.
No, it's not coming to me either. But the dash is important.
Yes.
Because if you just type in dmnorth.com, you will not find us. You need to type in dm-north.com.
So I'll test my Robin team Saturday in that game, since it fits in with the theme.
What is the theme, Kim?
It's global escalation, I think. So you have to build a team, and global escalation is pretty much banned cards from past teams from a variety of like World's Championship, US Championship, Nationals. That's mainly what the bans are from, right? Worlds,
Worlds,
US, Canadian. I want to say something. There's a fourth one out there.
I don't think Canadian was included in the official
included.
one,
okay.
Unless they changed it.
So the winning teams, their cards get banned, which creates this global escalation list. And then obviously WizKids also has some bans, and so we can't use any cards from that list for the team build for that theme.
Cool.
So it's pretty easy. I think I had to change one card out because it was on the ban list. just for the night. But hopefully I'll make it. We'll see.
Yeah, and maybe you and I will match up in this tournament, because I don't think you and I have played each other in any of these CRGR tournaments.
Maybe once.
Maybe.
I can't remember. But there's five DM North members playing in this invitational.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is actually pretty cool. So
yeah, because there's
Canadians rocking it there. Yep.
There's Jordo. There's CCM 0007. Reg.
I think Reg, yeah.
And then also our honorary member, as I like to call him, Rob.
That's right.
So there's if Reg is in, which I think he is, because he was an alternate.
Yep.
There's 6 Canadians in this 16-person tournament.
We're invading.
We are
coming for you.
And I think there's 6 Europeans, like Europeans and UK folks, which means out of the 16 places, only 4 US folks made it in.
Should be interesting. Probably definitely get paired up with a UK person or a Europe person.
At some point, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see where that lands. But yeah, I'm really excited to play. It's always fun to play with different people, and everybody online is fantastic. So hopefully you enjoyed hearing us talking about our teams and the tournament, and you'll come out and join us playing online at some point in Weekly Dice Arena or Team of the Month or a future CRGR tournament.
And you can always catch all our tournament gameplay at DM North YouTube website. We record all our games, post it up there. So
now you record all
you hear
games.
About our teams. Yes, I record all my games.
And you might record my games. Yes, I don't record my own games.
So you hear about my team, but if you want to see it in action or see Jocelyn's team in action when we record it, you can check us out on YouTube as well. So DM North.
DM North forever. The Canadians are taking over the world of Dice Masters.
Hey. Cool.
So,
yeah, so forward to
anything else you want to talk about today, Kim?
Nope. I think we had a good coverage about tournaments, so it gets people some background information about that. And
so if you have any questions about our teams or playing online or anything at all, please feel free to send us an email at trippledpodcast@dm-north.com. That's trippledpodcast@dm-north.com. And otherwise, thanks for listening and hanging out with us. Until next time, on a double in dice.
Bye.